on, intro. It's intro time. Shush. Everyone shut up. What's going on, all you main characters? It's another after party. We are here with the Cody. We are just finished wrapping up episode 5 of season 2 of House of the Dragons. There was a lot of little things that happened in this episode. No big epic moments in my view, but
people are making power plays.
What's that?
People are making power plays though.
Oh yeah. A lot of dynamic movement across the chessboard in House of the Dragons, so I'm excited to talk about it. Just before we get into it, if you guys do enjoy our content, please smash the like button. And if you are new, consider subscribing. It's free and it's the best way to support and help us grow. And with that said, no more housekeeping stuff. Let's jump right into it. What was your favorite part, in the episode?
Probably the two with Jace, to be honest, where he's making moves with the twins, and then also he's like, I got a crazy thought.
Yeah.
Let's throw some randos on some dragons and see how they go.
Yeah, you got the you got Bela who's going around, and is Bela the one who's at Dragonstone with Rhaenyra?
That's Bela, yeah.
Who's the one?
Rhaena doesn't have a dragon right now.
Who's the one who's in the Eyrie?
Rhaena.
Okay, Rhaena's in the Eyrie. Rhaena's, she was actually a little impressive too. Like her acting chops. I mean, she only had a scene, but I mean, I thought she did a pretty damn good job. And the Eyrie has this weird culture that really comes off in their female characters. They're
bitchy?
No. Just very pompous. I get pompous, and I get like when you look at King's Landing and you go to Game of Thrones and you look at Cersei, you have this very elegant, well-kept, graceful queen. But then when you go to the Eyrie, all of the characters at the Eyrie are very posh and high on their own farts and stuff like that.
It's because they live in the mountains.
They have a great fucking view. Their view is sick.
They live in a skiing resort.
But no, so I think that I think the woman who's running the Eyrie is going to be a pretty interesting character. I hope we see more of her. So I thought she did a good job.
Yeah, I know. She knows what she wants too. She's like, bitch, I need a dragon.
I need a big dragon.
Yeah.
Well, we got you.
Protect my ass.
We give you 2 tiny dragons for 1 big dragon.
You got little puppies.
Well, and what a finish to the episode. I mean, it didn't really leave off on a really high note, but I'm guessing this is probably the moment they chose to end the show or end the episode because it's significant to the written story, the written version of the books, where this was probably a pivotal moment in the war. Holy shit. A pivotal moment in the war where they're like,
you had a Jimmy moment from South Park.
This is pitiful. This is pompous. No, it was a pitiful. It was a pivotal moment.
Leaves it off being like, hey, we're going to get more dragon riders. It's not just going to be the few that we got.
Which they desperately need. The only dragon I'm really the only dragon I've heard about outside of what we've seen on screen right now is the cannibal. That's the only one I've heard about, and that was through
there's a cannibal, and then there's 2 that are in the dragon pit at Dragonstone that he mentioned.
Yeah, I really want to see. Some of these other big dragons get in the fray. Right. That's probably not happening this season, I'd expect. But I mean, if they're gonna start reading a bunch of parchment and start coming up with candidate ideas for who could become dragon riders, I could see this being a double-edged sword because you're gonna grab people who are like, you could be a dragon rider, and then they're like, oh, but I really like the high towers. It's I am really pro-green. I'm a member of the Green Party in this fight. Just saying.
They're the Green Party, yeah.
My highlight from this episode was when Aemon just took the throne. He's like,
oh yeah, you just go right to work.
He was like, this is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna do. Everyone, go do that
and cut down the fucking rat catchers.
Yeah, that was just about fucking time. I was a little surprised to see them on screen again. I was a little surprised to see them on screen, and also surprised that it took us we needed to see the order to take them down on screen.
Yeah, well, I mean,
you need to be told
when we first saw them, I'm like, fuck, they're still there.
Yeah,
and then 20 minutes later, he's like, cut them down. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, cut them down. That's enough of that.
You don't need, it smells.
But
the stink is getting into it.
The dog is still a recurring character.
Yeah, I thought he'd be in someone's soup by now.
Yeah, how
King's Landing's starving, you think?
Yeah, that was kind of a little that was interesting how tone deaf Aemon was on that, because it was yeah, Aemon's like, no, close all the doors, keep them all in here. Like you need a valve to let out that stress. And honestly, if you probably lowered the population of King's Landing, the food issue would kind of be offset a bit.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. All I know is that was it Corliss's navy is still blockading them. So
Yeah, and doing a pretty damn good job of it, apparently.
You can't get a lot of food from land.
Yeah, only
by sea.
Yeah, if you follow the King's Road south, you get to Highgarden, and I'm.
Well, they took all the crown lands, I think they're called. Last episode with Cole.
Well,
they landlocked Rhaenyra.
Right. So I guess you have one that's
like can't get food through that way.
Yeah, you can't get food by the water because of the blockade, and you can't get anything done by land because of the landlock.
Well, no, they control the land.
Yeah,
Rhaenyra can't get to land.
No, I'm saying each of them has a lock on the other person in some capacity. Not the same thing, but yeah. But the Highgarden is further west, so. And I don't remember if Highgarden's declared for anyone. I mean, Old Town is right there. So, I mean, Highgarden is between Old Town and King's Landing geographically.
I would assume they would sue for the green.
They could. The Dornish would be cool to see back into this fight, too.
No one cares about Dorne.
I care about Dorne. Like, I won't.
Not even George cares about Dorne.
I care about Dorne. It's so cool. Like, all their.
You like sand and shit.
I like sand. It gets everywhere.
Yeah, now we have so Aemon's king, and now Daemon is like, refer to me as king.
Yeah, there's a lot of kings.
King consort. Yeah, you don't need that last part.
War of Three Crowns.
Right.
Not as funny as the War of Five Kings, but it's close. Getting there.
The Battle of the Five Armies.
Ooh, yeah. That was horrible.
That was so gay.
Well, you know, in the original Hobbit book, they actually don't do the battle.
Was there like a sentence or whatever?
No, Bilbo becomes incapacitated pretty early in the beginning of the fight, and then it's recapped to him after he wakes up. It's like, this is what you missed.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it was pretty damn funny.
Surprised they didn't do that in the movie.
Oh, it would have been way better. It's like just explaining everything, and they had Olifants. No, we're getting way off track. But the Daemon is starting to really bother people in that universe. They're starting to disregard his significance in the war because he's not making any overtly in check moves with Rhaenyra's faction.
Yeah, well, he's just doing his own thing, and he's failing at getting the Brackens to their side.
Yeah,
failed horribly in that.
Yeah, that was
Maybe he should have just burnt them right there.
I mean, do it. Get rid of half that faction. I mean, even if they sieged Harrenhal, it's like, okay, they have Harrenhal. It's
yeah, stone and water.
Well, Jace, kicking ass with his diplomacy. Taking on the twins was kind of an interesting show also because, yeah, you're right. He's popping off, but I see him on screen and I'm like, he's just a little bitchier version of Robb Stark.
Okay.
It's just he's a little whinier.
He's a lot younger.
Well, yeah, but what is he? I mean, is he a lot younger? I
would say so. Wasn't Robb in his early 20s or whatever when he became king in the North?
They kept calling him the young wolf and kept making that reference to him, so I don't get the sense that he was aged.
I think Jace is still a teenager.
Yeah, I might just be harping on the wrong thread there. But when I look at Jace on screen, I think what they're trying to do is build him up to be that charismatic young princeling leader, sort of the same way they built up Aemond, which was he's meant to be this revered powerful force. They're the opposite sides of the same coin. So I think when they have Jace on screen finally doing something, I'm with it too.
Yeah, I mean he got Winterfell. He got the twins, and now he's let's get some more dragon riders. Mm-hmm. So he's making moves.
Yeah, which Rhaenyra really needs people on her side to help bolster shit. I'm glad she got that naysayer from her council to go and figure some shit out for her.
What the fuck Daemon's doing?
Can you go be productive instead of just sitting here making my life hell?
Can you go talk to my soon-to-be ex-husband?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. You could declare a new king. Like
Could.
she could remarry for the 7th time. I suppose it's only been twice.
Well, I think 3, 4 partners in this show so far.
Fair enough. But then how many off show?
Right.
How many off screen?
It's like, how many bastards do you have running around? Maybe we should just talk to them.
Let's get more princelings and more dragon riders.
Right.
Well, I'm excited to see more fights in this season, but Vagar like standing down was kind of interesting to see. I get it. Like he's the most powerful, he's the biggest on the block, and he did fight. So he did like take injuries and get wounded. So he's healing. Vagar's a she?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's an old grandma.
An old grandma bitch?
Yeah.
Damn. Eamon loves his
Get
grandma.
her pronouns right.
Well, Eamon loves his mother figures.
Right.
Now that's
true.
kind of his shtick.
It's like everyone's got mommy issues in this fucking
That is
show.
fucking weird. Are we talking about that?
What's this? Damon goes through a thing.
Damon goes through yeah, okay. So if you're watching this, hopefully you've watched the episode along with us, and maybe you guys are as weirded out by that as we were. But that was freaking like weird to see. That was a weird scene. We didn't need it. I don't think it actually built up anything.
It just shows that he has mommy issues.
Honestly, these visions are starting to bug me because they like first off, it's not clear to me what the fuck is happening. And if it's supposed to be this big reveal, like it's taking a really long time to get to it. Like if Harrenhal's haunted and it's fucking with his brain, okay, let's make that happen. Like get to it already, because these visions are getting a little annoying to me. Like I don't know how you're doing with it.
I'm fine with it. It's showing a little more of what's going on with Damon and how his mind is.
Well,
but it also could be that witch that's kind of just like microdosing him.
That too. So I figure it's like, my point is it's either PTSD from him killing the baby, or it's mommy issues, or Harrenhal's haunted, or the witch. And I'm like, pick a fucking lane and let's get there already. This is getting, for me, it's getting old. I'm getting,
good with it.
The visions are getting increasingly like, all right. I'm just over it more and more. It's on screen a lot, and it's Damon is a cool enough character that you surround him with this weird thing that's happening to him, and it doesn't do anything to make him more cool. It doesn't make him more Damon. Like he's not going through shit and building from it. He's going through shit and then also like having conversations with people at the same time.
Right, yeah, that's gonna be weird. And no one's really like acknowledging it either.
Right, it's not character building.
It's like, dude, you're kind of like spacing out a lot.
Yeah. Your Grace, my king. I don't know.
Your Grace, my king.
Yeah, so him spacing out, people aren't acknowledging it or doing anything with it, and then what it even fucking isn't clear to me. Maybe the audience, if it's clear to you guys, you just let me know what I'm missing here. But to me, it's just getting really old, and it's taking a character who is like really cool and just landlocking him for like 4 episodes. Like
I think he's gonna be there for a while.
Yeah, but is he just gonna be sitting here like stewing with his visions and failing at shit?
I'm assuming something will happen, but
God,
I don't know what or when.
Yeah, the sooner we get Damon back on his dragon and kicking ass, I'd be better for it. And I
guarantee you there's going to be a brawl between Damon and Aemon and their dragons.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think that kind of has to happen.
Right.
I mean, to settle that whole thing. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, but I hope that Damon isn't just sitting in Harrenhal suffering with these visions for another like half season. Like if it's the rest of this season, I'm like, all right,
3
but then
episodes left.
Well, then it's going to be another year and a half before we see Damon again.
I think they're going to do it yearly now. I think they're already filming.
They took way too long.
Yeah, it took way longer. It said it was going to be out like fucking 6 months ago or something.
Well, and wasn't season 1 like a pretty significant success too? It was my understanding it was a pretty significant win.
Yes. And it's post-COVID, so fuck.
Like, what was your reason for taking so long in season 2, guys? What the fuck?
It's 8 episodes.
Figure it out. Fuck around.
We
Yeah.
also got Rhaenyra's making like a subterfuge play in King's Landing, sending the White Worms, whatever, spies. I don't know.
Yeah, her consultant.
Yeah, and she's got people in the guard too.
Yeah, she knows. I mean, didn't she run a brothel or something? Like, she probably knew people. She was probably like the little finger of this timeline.
Yeah, fucking gets to talking.
Yeah, true. Science.
True.
That's just science.
Facts.
That's just math. That's just basic math. No, and they made a point of I mean, I don't know if we knew this in Game of Thrones, but they made a point of saying in this episode, thousands, like million. There's millions of people in King's Landing to
I
be.
think there's a mill.
Yeah, that are going to be pissed off, and not to underestimate your like small folk.
Don't
and
fuck
stuff.
with the little folk.
Yeah, I'm like, are they just going to revolt in King's Landing and then hard switch like? Rhaenyra comes in, then she feeds everybody.
I don't know how that's really gonna work out, but
Well,
yeah, I mean, Aegon's still alive too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, do you think he's gonna wake up and be king again?
No, I mean,
Just
okay.
in a wheelchair, all burnt.
I would be surprised if Aemond lets power go now that
True.
he's got it. It
He's gonna
doesn't.
kill him in his sleep.
Yeah, it feels very out of character for him to like. It feels very out of character that he would have Aegon wake up and hand it back over to him in any capacity. And if Aegon does wake up, I think he's going to get killed. Otherwise, I expect Aemon's probably going to poison him in some way. Like
I would think so.
yeah, and Alicent is going to be pissed about it, but really she's not going to be able
She's
to do
already
anything.
like suspicious of him all the time.
Well, she's so freaking irrelevant now. It's like you started the war, now you're just a side piece for the Hand of the King.
Yeah, there was a lot of fucking like girl
Yeah.
power kind of talk through this episode too.
Yeah, there was
There's like almost every conversation someone had, they slipped a bit of that in.
Yeah, there was like 15 minutes, like a 15-minute period where they're like, Alicent, you're a woman. You can't run an army or a kingdom. You're just a woman. And then they went to Rhaenyra, and then in like a later scene, and they said the same. Like,
And the witch said something about it, and then Bela, when she was talking to Corlys, she's like, "Not just your wife, she was a person."
yeah, fair. I mean, yeah, they did do that a couple of times. I wonder. It doesn't feel intentional to me. In the
When
sense.
it happens that much, though, it was like, Jesus.
Well, I
I
think
get it in context for a few scenes. Like, it makes sense.
I think it could have been like a theme. Like it could have been a theme of the episode without pushing like the message that like we get frustrated with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have just been a theme. It's like when you had Daenerys in Game of Thrones, they played to that with her a lot. They're like, oh, women speak with their bodies and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you do. I was like, no,
Fuck yeah,
you
do.
go, girl.
Keep talking.
But no, they did that in Game of Thrones with Daenerys. Cersei and Sansa kept having back and forths with it. There was the assistant to Littlefinger. She was the whore from
From
Winterfell. Yeah.
I think it's crossbowed by fucking Joffrey.
Yep. So there was a couple of examples of that in Game of Thrones. I'm not disagreeing with you that it was there. I do think it was meant to show that in a medieval war setting, this is very real, actually.
It's like, go sit and sew something while men wage war.
I think the strongest case for like there being something wrong with this or it being overplayed is probably what you were saying with like Corlys. Corlys, thank you, with Corlys. But in the same vein, I don't know. It could have been something there. I have a hard time like reconciling it as like the message, what it tends to be in other shows. Plus, I don't think they've done we had some. Originally, there was a lot of frustration with House of the Dragons revolving around whether or not the Valyrians were actually like black, and that was kind of like a big push for diversity and like messaging in the show.
Right, but then it ended up making sense with
Yeah.
it's like obviously the kids are bastards.
Yes, it makes way more sense now. It's a lot more obvious.
That's not your baby.
That's not your baby. That is a white baby.
Yeah, with brown hair. It's like you got both of them wrong.
Yeah. Even we know how genetics work. All in all, it was a really fun episode, and I think they did a pretty good job of like keeping so many like minor plots moving forward that you still felt very like there was a lot happening in the episode, even without there being like a big battle or anything. So I feel like they did a good job filling it up. But
Yeah, I'm still in it. I'm kind of excited to see what happens with all those random dragon riders. It's like, are you just feeding them to the dragons at this point?
You are
like,
a snack.
Fuck, is this even gonna work?
You are just a snack. No, the
Weird experiment.
well, where do we expect the next action to be? It's probably going to be in the Riverlands because Aemon sent. Did he send Kristen Cole up to the Riverlands to secure and push for? Or no, the Lannisters. He sent the Lannisters up.
Did he?
Well,
I don't remember.
I think Jace made a comment.
When
of
Allison was kind of zoning out in that scene, I started to zone out with her.
should just follow her. Like she's like, oh shit, I'm figuring it out. Just think, woman, think, think, Mark. How many kids will you have left in 500 days?
None. So we're gonna set each other on fire.
Classic fire. Yeah, they actually tied in that plot point about the
Valerian armor.
They tied that in. It's like, oh yeah, this saved his life. Also,
I don't know how much of a life he's gonna have.
Yeah, but
he's breathing.
He's alive.
Yeah,
kinda. You know, it's like kinda.
That's fucking horrible. They gotta peel the armor off his
smoldering
skin.
corpse.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, bringing the dragon's head through the city was kind of like oof.
Oh yeah, that backfired on him.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be like this shining achievement, and everyone's like, ugh.
Well, they probably couldn't leave it there.
Well, yeah, you didn't have to parade it.
We need a trophy. It's like, yeah, you're
Could
right.
leave it up.
Just
No,
get like a really, really big blanket, just cover it up and bring it through the city.
So they just leave Sunfire in the trees then to die?
That's what I understood it as.
Yeah.
That's how I understood it. I mean, maybe Sunfire will wake up, or maybe
It's
Aegon.
the same with Aegon. They're just both
They're just both like kind of crippled. Classic.
classic Sunfire.
Ugh. How would you rate this episode?
Probably an 8.
I think an 8. Yeah, I think an 8. I think it does my point from earlier. It covers a lot of ground very well and doesn't spend too much time harping on one particular plot point.
Well, I mean, last episode you were saying that there's like no one really to root for. Like, I think Jace would be a good example of someone you can root for.
Yeah, I think
Good kid.
he's good. I like Rhaenyra's like children. I like how that's kind of unfolding where they're kind of finding their place in her court.
Right.
Like trying to make moves that are significant. Meanwhile, the Greens are actually making moves that are significant.
Yeah, but they all fucking hate each other too.
True. Whereas Rhaenyra's faction is like more family oriented and it's like you have this one estranged uncle, cousin, husband, lover, you know?
Yeah, no, they're finally making moves, and yeah, it's good to see.
I enjoyed this episode quite a bit. I like that there was a lot more Game of Thrones happening than House of the Dragon happening. Whereas House of the Dragon is like all war. It's all fucking war and everything's season 1 is different, but I mean, I liked Game of Thrones more than I've enjoyed House of the Dragon so far. At least the earliest half.
I mean, it's really a high bar.
It really
and
is.
it was a cultural phenomenon, so
Yeah, and I don't think
this isn't going to reach those heights.
Right. And I think that like all the acting is phenomenal. First off, the acting is perfect. I don't have a problem with a single actor in this show. I think the Brackens and the Blackwoods. I hope I'm getting those names right. I think they're kind of like maybe those actors are maybe overplaying it a bit, but I think they just have a role to fill, and they just have to do their.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying too. We got this like generations old feud, and it's like, dude, fucking get over it,
Dude,
man.
there are dragons flying overhead right now. Can you please put aside which of you stole the person's sheep?
What if they both wanted to like align with the same house, but then they're like they hate each other so much that one's like, fine, I guess I'll go with the other one.
Yeah, just switch houses.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what happened with the twins, wasn't it?
The twin? What?
Well, the brothers that were twins. They were each Kingsguard and Queensguard, and they killed each
I
other.
almost forgot about them already. Jesus.
Yeah, they're so irrelevant.
Well, now they are.
Yeah, they're so dead. Ugh, can't believe he killed himself. I was like, there's no more mystery anymore. You can live.
Well, I mean, there wasn't going to be much of a mystery anyway
Sure, I know.
of who survived. It's like, hey, who'd you have dinner with last week? Last night?
Exactly. Who is this guy?
You don't know anyone's name there.
I think, yeah. So there's 3 episodes left. I think we're probably going to have one more pretty significant battle, but I think the rest of
I think
this...
someone dies in the finale.
Probably.
Someone
I mean,
significant.
That's kind of how it played out so that's how it played out last season. That was the cliffhanger they left us on last time. If they're going to just kill off a major character in order to like keep people hooked for the next season, I think that says something about whether or not people are actually like on this. Like, I'm on this show because it's great acting. The story is really good. That's the reason I'm on it. But you got to wonder if people are missing something from that Game of Thrones gave them that this didn't. Because people don't talk about this show the way they talked about Game of Thrones. I think that has a lot to do with like the times where you're not like doing the water cooler conversation anymore.
It's maybe people are really burnt out on shit content, so
there's
it's good to talk about something you like, but you're still also kind of just like worn out from watching dog shit.
Yeah, have you heard of this new show? Shut the fuck up. Don't talk to me about any new shows. Don't you do it. Don't you do that. All right.
Don't you do that to me.
All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. We will be back we'll be back next week, guys. We'll see. Holy crap! I can't outro right now.
He's having another stroke.
I spent everything I had on the intro. No, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you made it to the end and you enjoyed the content, remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, share the video out there, and we will see you guys next week for the recap of episode 6.